Hello. I've got such, I think I've got the wit and the personality and the charm to be a YouTuber, but I don't have the tech knowledge. There won't be any graphics in this video. I wish there were. Welcome back to the channel. This is Singing is Rocket Science. I made this channel to try and raise a bit of money for my tuition, which worked, and kind of expected that only friends and family would watch the videos, but people are actually watching them. So thank you so much. Sorry it's taken me so bloody long to do the next one. I'm going to respond to some YouTube comments in a second, and then I'm going to do a clean, concise video about my first semester at Bard, again why I left MSM, and that's it. Concise. So people in the comments were asking about settling into life in New York City. A few of you have asked me about what it's like renting there. Just a couple of tips if you are renting in New York. Read the reviews of your management company, because sometimes they are shoddy and you didn't read them and you can't get your deposit back. Don't worry, I did get my deposit back because New York has really stringent rules for landlords, and I got the Attorney General involved and I got my deposit back. So go with reputable companies. Don't find an apartment on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, as tempting as it is. Go somewhere that won't charge you realtors fees, but where you have read the contract and it all looks legit and safe. And to that end, settling into New York, ooh mama, I don't think there's anyone in the world that would not find it challenging moving to New York City. It's so busy, so chaotic. I really struggled, and I was coming from London. I had a friend from the Midwest who was like, why can't everyone just be nice to each other? New York City, baby. Clean, concise, here we go. The last time I made a video, I was in Austin, Texas with my boyfriend, did the COVID 5.5 months, and then came back to New York City, packed up all my stuff, and moved up here to the Hudson Valley, tiny little village called Tivoli. It was a culture shock going from Austin to New York City, where it was hot and COVID-y, and my apartment was so small. But good news is I moved up here, and I've got this huge apartment. It's not an apartment, it's a house. My bedroom is about the size of my apartment in New York, is what I'm trying to say. It's very remote, which I thought I would struggle with because I am an absolute city rat, but it's so peaceful. I did have to buy a car, so yes, cheap rent, but also yes, car. You don't have to, but I would go crazy if I didn't, and I did go crazy. So I bought a car. Very safe up here during the pandemic, and it's so picturesque. I go for these beautiful walks when it snows. Which is to say, I also walk when it doesn't snow. I live with gorgeous roommates from Bard, and we work out together. You need 30 seconds work, 15 seconds. And ultimately, I feel so relieved that I left MSM to come here. I also thought, I'm in the middle of nowhere. How am I gonna forward my career and watch enough concerts? Obviously, the pandemic's thrown all of that up in the air, so everything you can watch online now. If I wanted to go to New York, I could hop on a train. But more than anything, I'm focusing on my studies, and I've got all the time in the world to do that because I'm in the middle of nowhere. Here's the thing about Bard, and I can't speak to any of the other courses, but the vocal arts program, the 2 years, it's so much work. It's all good stuff. The program is mostly led by women with a huge focus on contemporary works and composers from marginalised minorities. All such great, interesting stuff. We're being treated as artists, and the idea is that we come out with autonomy. But Jesus wet, is it a lot of work. If I'm to compare Bard and MSM, Bard isn't. MSM is a huge school. It's easy to get lost there. Bard, you can't be slipping through the cracks. If there's a deadline, you are finishing that deadline or they will come and get you. I have the same singing teacher, so that's great. The performance opportunities are a little bit more at Bard, and you're more likely to get something because there's so many people at MSM. But it's slightly less traditional at Bard. So if you're looking at doing more standard roles and stuff, MSM is probably a better place for you. There's a bit more written work at Bard, I will say that, but again, all good stuff. I knew nothing about poetry at MSM. I also didn't really know how to pick repertoire, and I'm learning that at Bard. Usually, we would be going into New York every Friday for our singing lessons, but because of the pandemic, that has not been the case. So we've had online lessons, which has actually been so fine, so doable. But most of our lessons at Bard are in person, which is a small miracle given the times. So it's another reason I came here. It is cold, that's another downside. But Bard itself is an environment unlike any I've been in before. Before I came here, I had never met someone who wasn't cisgender, and I have so many queer friends here. My mind has been cracked open like an egg. God, if you're considering coming here for the VAP, I just can't recommend it enough. I love it so much. Am I overworked? Yes. Like a racehorse. Is it a great course? Yes. Is my voice sounding fantastic? Pretty much, yes. We're doing some very cool projects this semester, performing some Kurtag music, and we're doing The Medium by Minotti. And most excitingly, I got myself a job for the summer. So if you're in Massachusetts in August 2021, come and see me in Falstaff at Berkshire Opera Festival. I will be performing the role of Meg Page. Found out yesterday. Isn't that great? I'll be paid and everything. That's it. Clear and concise. Clean and concise. That's my video. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. If you want to know anything more about Bard, about living upstate in the middle of bloody nowhere, if you have any singing questions about training, about summer programs, head on down. Give us a follow on Instagram, say hi. Thank you so much if you got to the end of this video. Wow. Thank you.